Hey, I've got something new. Um, not new, not new. I've done a lot of optimizations. Look, I didn't start off good. I ruined the operating system pretty bad. I tinkered with too many things, and I just had to reinstall. And that's fine because that was just me getting my sea legs, huh, pun intended, on the new operating system. I've always used Xubuntu, but this time I'm running Kubuntu because it uses Wayland and it has HDR and it's the future. Whereas Xubuntu using the XFCE, unfortunately, X11 that's sunsetting. It's not going to be around. So I had to move on. I had to broaden my horizons. See all these little Sea of Thieves puns here? So I'm on Kubuntu. I like it. It's gorgeous. The HDR and just all the visuals, and it's just incredible. And I thought that it might maybe not run as smooth, I thought maybe the all of the graphic effects of the desktop would weigh things down a little bit. That's false. I'm going to argue it's more, I don't know, optimized. The code is more optimized and it is running so well. So well. So I don't even know where to start, really. I built everything from source. Mesa, X264, X265, the compression, codecs, encoders, excuse me, decoders, OBS Studio. I compiled that, the latest version. Gee, what else? Man, and I did use OpenAI. I do pay for the OpenAI, the $20 a month. It's ChatGPT 5. I did ask it for help on some things, optimizations and whatnot. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but I was able to, use my experience to kind of fumble through it, and in the end, wow, this is really incredible, absolutely incredible. My encoder is finally working fully. Now this time, OpenAI had me go through something a little different with the X264, which is what we're encoding in right here, right now. It wasn't just the optimizations for the CPU and the GPU. It wasn't just that. Okay, it gave me some things for that. It also had me do a single pass where it's like a performance pass. It compiles once and then it has you use it, and as you use the encoder, it records somehow segments of the code that gets used the most, something like that. Then it goes through and compiles it again, but this time it optimizes it for how you use it. I probably did not explain that correctly. If you're a developer, I apologize. You can correct me in the comments, please. But in layman's terms, and probably wrong, that's how I viewed it. And I will say this: the encoding seems to be a lot better this time. I didn't see any artifacts, any stuttering at all. I didn't see any visual tearing on the recorded video. And I was so excited. I was just so excited. I had to make this stupid video. Stupid video, right? I'm not doing anything, really. But I have to say something. So finally, we are somewhere. So, gaming on Linux. It's here. And let me tell you the advantages, right? first, believe it or not, your games are more stable. My friends on Windows, when they game, same game that I'm playing, they crash more often. A lot more often, actually. The other thing, everything's real snappy, right? You click on something, boom, it opens. Windows is not that way. There's a little bit of a delay, and it maybe you don't notice it if you're always on Windows, but I notice it. I really absolutely hate it. I don't understand that at all. I don't know what Windows is doing. Okay, so that's the other thing. Then the other advantage, and by the way, I don't hate Windows 10. I liked it. I don't want to get into, but Linux is better, and I'm not going to beat anybody over the head. If you like Windows, that's cool. Nobody is trying to drag you off of Windows. You know, I'm on your side too. Just don't get the wrong idea, okay? I don't want to come off incorrectly. Okay, for me, I just prefer Linux. Okay, so the other advantage, and I know you've heard this. I know this has been a problem. Updates. I'm not going to get interrupted during my game for an update. They are silent. They're in the background. You'll get maybe a notification. Maybe it'll say, "Hey, you got these updates." I think it's when you log in, but you're not going to continue. You're not going to, like, I won't get it now. I won't see anything. So there's that, and that's how I prefer it. I'll do the update when I feel like it, when I'm ready, right? So I'm trying to think the other advantage. The other advantage, just the operating system is peppier. For instance, everything you store on the hard drive is stored under a more efficient, faster partition system, right? So I think honestly, it feels like games are loading faster for me. And other things, you know, textures and stuff like that. So I also have, it seems like I have fewer stutters in games. I remember in Windows there would be a stutter, and I'm like, what is that? What is that? Didn't understand that. Even with really awesome hardware, I still would occasionally have that. Now, it might be the game, just a flaw in the game, you know, but I don't have it as much in Linux. Everything's really, really smooth. So I'm just relaying this to you so you can make an educated decision. I will say this: you don't have to get rid of Windows. You can dual boot. You could buy an SSD or an NVM. You know, something cheap. Linux only needs about a gig, I would say. Excuse me, a terabyte. Just 1 terabyte. That should be enough. Actually, my root folder, partition, is just on a 1 terabyte drive, NVM, fairly fast. And then my home directory, which is where the games are stored and personal stuff, you know, like all your documents, whatever. The home partition, that's on a like a Samsung 2 terabyte. You could get a 2 terabyte and call it a day. Just say, hey, I'm going to get a 2 terabyte. That's going to be all of Linux and all of my games, everything. And then I'll have this little SSD, maybe 400 gig, whatever. And that could be Windows. So you can do something like that. You'll have both operating systems that you can boot at any time, whenever you want. That's a good stopgap. Now, that's what I did. And what happened was I was using Windows less and less and less, and to the point where I might boot into Windows once a year. And by the way, when you do that, what a crisis that is. Everything wants to update, and it takes 45 minutes. That is so unbelievably annoying. Linux updates are a lot faster. Unless you do the stupid stuff that I'm doing. I'm building everything from source. The newest stuff with all the cool features, with CPU optimizations and all kinds of goodies. What I'm doing, you don't have to do. Linux will work right out of the box. I'm doing it because I have been on Linux for so long that it's very easy for me. Right? It's very easy. It's tedious, but it's one of those nerdy hobby type things that I enjoy doing. So please also don't, you know, don't get the wrong idea about that either. I'm not saying anybody has to do those silly things, but it's fun. It is cool, especially when, you know, for instance, HDR was new in Wayland, and maybe it wasn't available, but I was able, if I wanted to, I could have taken the latest source, compiled it, and had HDR before it was officially released. That's kind of a cool thing. You know, you could do stuff like that. Those things are possible. And there might be a new feature soon, and I might want that, and I can get that by, you know, grabbing the latest source code and building it. Now, I don't know. I should really give some kind of a link for that kind of stuff for those that want to try it. But that's going to have to be later. I have a GitHub page that walks you through a lot of stuff, but it's going to need a lot of corrections. You know, my first attempt, my first iteration, it just wasn't that great. But I have it. I have one. That's not what I wanted. How do you... I haven't played this forever. I have blown myself up, though, with this. Yeah, see right there. I think... Did I take some damage? Is that a little cubby hole? Hey, this is a great game, by the way. Oh, man, it is running so great. Running so great. Too bad it's stormy, though. It's kind of grayish. But, yeah, love this game. And it is running really well. Now, other games, too. DayZ. I'll do some more DayZ now that I have the audio level fixed. Thanks for pointing that out. I apologize for such low audio level on that. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I'll do more games. We should really test this stuff out. I should really give it some grief. You know, give the computer some grief with some major taxing it. You know what? Star Citizen. That's the one. Am I right? Star Citizen. I'll do that as soon as I possibly can. And you can see how well it runs in Linux. That one's a pretty exciting one because I can compile the latest version of Wine, and when I pair that with everything else, the latest version of Mesa, with all the optimizations, all the fixings, that game runs very well. Very well. And again, that stability, that game is kind of flaky, right? So the Windows people do struggle with that one, but for me, not so much. It's still buggy, but the crashing part of it, I don't have. That may have changed. There's been a lot of updates since I played it, but the last time I played it, no crashy crash. You know what I mean? So there are some advantages to using Linux, and it probably wouldn't hurt to have both Linux and Windows on your system. That way, your games will not be interrupted. If Windows takes a like if it just nosedives, crash and burn, well, then you can use the other operating system, and vice versa. So, kind of nice to have that security, because you know, when your squad wants the game, come on, you don't want any interruptions, you don't want any hassle. All right, thanks for watching this. I appreciate it, and I will post more.